Welcome to Sacred Magic. Violet is on a quest to bring sacredness back into our everyday experiences. Anyone can have an extraordinary life when they are able to tap into their sacred magic within. Violet and her guests will be sharing their divine passions, inspirations, and stories of connecting with their sacred magic. We are so happy you have joined us today. Let's get started with your host, the magical creator of Discover Your Spiritual Gifts, Violet Rain.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Sacred Magic Podcast. I'm your host, Violet Rain. My guest today is Alex Urbina. Hopefully I pronounced that right. He's a shamanic practitioner, an energy alchemist, a transformational spiritual healer, author, and speaker. With 3 decades of dedication to serving humanity, he has emerged as a powerful healer, renowned for his ability to empower individuals to lead happy, healthy, and purpose-driven lives. As a committed light worker, Alex has developed advanced spiritual gifts and tools that allow him to guide others on their healing journeys. The essence of Alex's success lies in the truth that he is the medicine. His authentic, compassionate, loving presence resonates at a frequency that empowers others to heal themselves. Through this unique ability to alchemize energy, Alex transforms negative energies into positive power, lifting the heavy burdens that cause emotional, psychological, and physical distress. This transformational process restores balance to the mind, body, and spirit. So welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Glad to be here.
So tell us your story. What got you to where you're at today? Have you always had these abilities? Did you come into them? Have they grown over time? Just share with us a little bit of your story.
Yeah, absolutely. So for me, my journey is about remembering these gifts. And I think that for all of us, what we're doing is we're remembering, 1, who we are, and 2, that we all have special gifts within us. But for me, the way it unfolded was in my early 20s, I was invited to a transformational training. It was a personal development seminar where you got a chance to look at yourself deeply, probably for the first time, where you just really got to look inward, and through their experiential exercise, you're able to see who you've become. And upon doing so, I realized in that moment that I had created this false version of myself, this narrative or the story, this personality that wasn't authentically who I am. So that was kind of the wake-up call. And from that moment forward, I had decided that I wanted to figure out who I am. And I embarked on this hero's journey of personal development and self-help. And so I just went on that journey, and here I am today.
I love that. I love that story. So within your practices and as you connect, you talk about the energy body connection. Share with us a little bit what you mean by that.
Yeah. So first of all, we're all energy first, and then second, we're form. So energy begins by remembering ourselves as vibrational beings. We're not just physical bodies. And I think until we fully remember that we're energy first, that we're energy of frequencies, that's like a field. We're an energy field. So imagine yourself being this round energetic body or ball, and that energy projects inward and creates the physical mass, which is the physical body. And in that field, energy carries memory. So it holds trauma, grief, stress. It leaves imprints in that field. And so when you have that distortion, the energy that flows to us, through us, and from us gets stagnant. It gets stuck, and it causes emotional issues. It causes mental issues, physical ailments, sickness, disease, those kinds of things.
I love how you describe it, because I've also heard from a shamanic practitioner that when we come in, our vibration is almost like a song. And as we have experiences, it gets damaged, or manipulated and it gets out of tune. And so when we go back and align into that divine frequency that we are, that song begins to play again, because almost like the breeze in the tree, everything has this sound to it, this divine sound that, and everyone's unique. Our imprints are unique, our frequencies are unique. So our songs will be unique as well. So your explanation is very similar to that.
No, absolutely. And that shamanic practitioner is right on the money, because it's true that we are a frequency and a resonance and a sound, and we are our own song. The issue is that we come into these bodies not remembering that we are that. And it's not until we slowly somehow get invited into either certain circles, or we listen to certain people that are reflecting or mirroring their own truth and singing their own song, that we start to go, oh, wait a minute, I have and I am my own song as well. And so it's a process.
It kind of weaves into chanting and all of that, of chanting, and that song and that vibration brings in healing, not only to ourselves, but to others. You talk about the role of negative energy, and our planet holds both polarity, light and negative. So what is the role of those negative energies? What's their purpose within this lifetime?
Well, their purpose is to be relevant. I think every energy in the universe, it wants to be relevant. It wants to know itself. It wants to experience itself. So if it somehow gets magnetized or attracted to your energy field because you're broadcasting negativity at that time, then it's going to magnetize and it's going to get lodged in your field. And the more that you feed it, you give it life. So it's kind of like we're feeding our own monsters, right? We're feeding our own sickness. We're feeding our own diseases through any and all negativity, negative thoughts, negative emotions, stagnant energies. So all energies is alive and has its own consciousness. And I think that ultimately it's gonna go where it's gonna go to and be attracted to its like kind energy. And so you just know that with every negative thought, with every negative memory that you have looping, or negative echoes that are bouncing around in your field, you're attracting more to you. And then the more you keep playing that role, you keep feeding it. And so you're kind of creating your own demise.
I love that. So what about, and I know you've had people that have come to you, I'm sure, that are in that victim mentality, and they have cycled through this negativity for so long that they don't know how to break that cycle. They don't know how to get out of the negative into the positive. What do you recommend, or what do you tell people that seem to be stuck in all this negativity?
It depends on how they show up. When people come to me, usually I meet them where they are. Some people, they need what I call front end healing, and then some people need back end healing. Front end healing to me is it's the psychological reframing of how you see the world or how you interpret the world. And the back end healing is, the energy clearings, the transmutation of energies, the releasing, the dissolving, the clearing. And the front end healing, as a life coach for 30 plus years, if I realize that somebody comes to me with the need of the front end healing, or that's what drew them to me, then we sit down and I help them break down certain distinctions, like the one you just talked about, which is victim versus responsible version. And once I explain to people we're at choice, and that there could be a possibility you're interpreting your life through the victim lens, and that's what's causing the negative energies that are being stuck in your field. You can't change something until you're aware of something. So sometimes that front end healing and that coaching dialogue helps people see that. Then they can start making those course corrections. So it really depends on where people show up. I try to meet them where they are. And again, it's either front end healing or back end healing. And sometimes I'm weaving both.
I understand that, because I always tell people we are a manifester and we get to choose. Do we want to be the victim or the victory? In every situation experience, allows us to make a choice. Do we see the blessing, the glass full? Do we see the challenge, the glass half full? And it's all perspective and awareness, because once you shift how you look at the world and how you look at yourself, you change all of that perspective. But you're really true. You have to be aware, because a lot of people, I mean, I've met people in my center that are not even aware that they've been in that victim energy for so long. They don't know any difference. They don't really know that they're sitting in that experience, because that's all they've ever experienced, or they've experienced it for so long they've forgotten how to experience the world any different. And we're influenced constantly by the people in our lives, by what we watch, what we listen to, how we see the world. Everything around us is an influence. And so we have the power to change those influences. We have the power to change our relationships, our experiences, what we choose to listen to, what energy we choose to sit in. And when we do that, we shift our life forever, when we understand that we are the creators of our own reality, and we start to look at the world totally different than we did before. You talk about mind, body, and spirit balance. So what does that truly mean? And how do we know if we're in balance?
Well, the way you know you're in balance is you start to experience what I call the flow. And the flow is like a natural state of not really necessarily needing to do anything specific. You stop muscling your results, your efforts. You get into like this rhythmic pattern. You have this baseline that's just always playing in rhythm with what you're up to in life. But when you talk about, mind, body, spirit, we just talked a little bit about the mind, right? Like, well, you just talked about reframing and learning how to create specific ways of interpreting your life in a more empowering way, where you're seeing yourself as the responsible version through your choices. And then also, realizing that life is happening for you, not necessarily to you. So once you kind of dial that mental interpretation framework that is supporting you in a positive way, then you can now start to be open to the possibility that you're being supported and have always been supported by the divine. That there are spirit teams. And I'm just not talking about a handful, but I'm talking about masses of amounts of spirit teams and councils that have rallied around you since the day you chose to embark on this human journey, to support you. And they stand ready to support you if and when you get to that stage where you remember them, you feel them, you reach out to them, you call them in, then they can step in and support you. So that's the spiritual side. So you got the mental, the spiritual, and then the physical body has no other choice other than to self-regulate and heal itself, because you've worked on dialing in and claiming your own sovereignty in the other two frequencies or streams. So in a nutshell, once you align the mind, the body, and the spirit together, you're weaving, you're again, going back to the song, you're in the beat, you're in the flow, you're in the pocket, you're in rhythm to what your purpose and your passion is. Everything syncs up. You get in sync, and everything starts happening for you pretty effortlessly.
Yeah, I have a friend of mine that says the universe is always saying yes. So think about that. The universe is always saying yes to you. So whatever you're asking for, whatever mental state you're sitting in, the universe is delivering that to you exactly like you asked. So it's always saying yes. And I love that word flow. I think for years, a lot of people were stuck on that word of balance. We got to have balance. Well, the reality is there's no even balance. Things ebb and flow and they grow. And when you can let go of that word balance, because a lot of people are looking for, I want balance in my life. I want balance in my life. What you're really saying is, I want flow. I want to be able to flow with the energies around me. I want to be able to move with those energies, because when you do, and you're able to figure out that flow, you're in alignment, and you have to surrender at some point to trust that the universe is always saying yes. And if you're doing all your work mentally and physically, the universe is going to support and help you in that flow. But sometimes we have to surrender to the process, and that can be hard, because as a human being, we want to control every aspect of our lives. And we're really not meant. We're just really supposed to, like you lay down in the pool and you float, to be in that flow of, I'm going to trust. And when you can get that, you're getting really close to that I am presence of just being, not expecting, not controlling, not expecting a certain outcome, but just being in the moment. And the more and more you can do that, the more elevated consciously you get within yourselves. Have you seen that too in your work?
Absolutely. The key distinction that you just shared is the surrender. I think that's the part that on our human journey, very few people teach us. I know that in my life, my elders, my parents, there was no talk when I was growing up about the art of surrendering. And it's not until you understand how divine and sacred that act is, when you start to surrender, like you said, the egoic parts of trying to muscle and force, and the illusion of control, because we really don't have control of anything, but it's an illusion that I have control of things and I still stand in that place. And as long as I'm standing that rigid stand, that's where we're in resistance to where the flow is trying to take us. Our higher selves, their job is to guide us to our purpose, and they're leaving breadcrumbs for us to pick up and notice those signs. And those breadcrumbs might be telling you, hey, dear one, surrender the fear, surrender the trying to do it all, surrender trying to hold everything together for your family, surrender the responsibility you're taking on for everyone, surrender all of the empathic, absorbed energy that you're trying to hold and carry for all the people in your life. And so it's really a matter, like you said, of surrendering. To me, that's a first state of healing, is to be willing to surrender. And quite often when I do clearings, I'll tell people your job is pretty simple. It's just a matter of surrendering what's no longer serving you, kind of like offering it up, like put it on a platter and just say, here, take this from me.
Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, we have this concept of the planet Earth has free will. You have choice to choose. What if surrender is about God's will and not your will? What if surrender is about letting go of trying to accumulate physical objects, titles, money? What if surrender is about letting all that go that we've been taught in this physical world, that we are measured by the title we have, the job we have, the size of house, the car, how much money we make? What if we let all that go and surrender to the flow and possibility of the divine, of not being in control of the outcome, of not pushing and shoving and controlling everything, just allowing our essence to be, so that we can attract in everything that we're meant to have in this lifetime, every experience that we've meant to have. Because when you can do that, when you can give yourself permission to let go and to heal and to be who you are, that's when the golden nuggets of life come in. That's when you really start to see what this world's about and find yourself within the chaos that's created in the physical world. And it no longer matters to you. It's on the outside of you. And if we could get more and more people to do that, think about how much better the world would be.
Well, I believe that's what we're doing now. We're just by having this conversation, we're mirroring that, and that remembrance that when we came into this human journey, at whatever time we came in, we were being projected to of, do more, do better, and have more, have better. And we were taught, majority of us in the last couple centuries, that you have to work hard and go after your dreams, and you have to muscle it to create the results. And it never really had to be that way in the first place. However, in this new era, as we're creating this new earth and the veil's getting thinner, we have more support that's coming through to remind us that we can magnetize those results. We can bring those to us, and we don't have to exhaust ourselves. We don't have to drain ourselves. We don't have to suffer through sickness and the diseases that we're creating, because we're coming at it from the doing perspective, rather than the being.
Mhm.
Being the I am, being the love, being the trust, being surrendered in the I am, and then magnetizing it to us through the flow.
This is my personal belief, and I don't know if this is Alex's, but I believe everyone on the planet at this moment came to heal. Not only heal themselves, but to heal their generations, their ancestors, the planet, the world. We all came for a purpose of healing all of those wounds and pains that we've carried from one generation to another, from one ancestor to another. We're here to heal, and healing is so important. And I notice one of your talking points, the empowerment of self-healing. Talk to us about your perspective on healing today and what that means, because I know that some people are like, oh, I don't need healed. I've done all my work. I'm done. I don't think we're ever done. I think there's constantly layers that we can peel back, look at, review, dive into, learn from, and really gain a lot of golden nuggets through our healing. So share with us a little bit of your perspective on healing.
Yeah, so I do have that same belief, except there's a little bit of a different way to look at it. From my perspective, we came here to remember who we are, because when we were born with the movies. They show the shot they give us right before we take our first breath in our body. It's like a forgetful serum. So we come into the body forgetting that we're soul, that we're spirit, that we're the I am. And we go on this journey, this human journey of forgetting that we're that. So for me, our purpose is about remembering that while we're walking our human experience. And healing happens through remembrance. So when I first started connecting to my spirit team, they started explaining to me how healing happens. And the very first thing they said was, when you remember who you are, healing happens organically. It just happens on its own. So we're gonna be on this journey of finding something to heal, because the longer that we stay in the forgetful stage, then the energetic body and the physical body is out of resonance. Like you said earlier, your song is off beat, and it just takes 3 years, 10 years, 20 years for that song to be off beat, that it gets so distorted that it doesn't, the sound is now irritating, because you didn't remember that you are the song, you are the rhythm, you are the beat. And so as far as healing, and another thing I'm realizing too is, a lot of us, majority of us, did come here to actually take on healing from our ancestors. And what I'm finding out is, as I call in more and more people's higher self to help support them in their healing, I would say about 80% of them have all taken on some type of oath to come into this lifetime to do some healing that my great great grandmother couldn't do because she was silenced in her era, or for my great great grandfather who was punished and probably killed because he was he was starting to remember his own gifts and helping his people and bringing medicine to the village. So we don't realize that when we come into this lifetime, we bring these oaths and these vows to do some of these healings, not only for ourselves, but it heals lineages going backward and forward. We don't realize that we're actually healing for our future, grandkids and their families. When you heal all timelines. It ripples. And I got firsthand feedback from my father who passed. I've had several conversations with him from the other side of the veil, just thanking me profoundly for the healing that I'm doing on myself, because it's actually reflecting him and it's helping him on the other side. So yeah, you're on the money with that. We are healing not just ourselves, but we're healing all timelines and ancestors and probably groups and communities that were here before us, and they're going to come after us.
It's a ripple effect. I always tell people, you may think this is silly, but when you do a healing, not only are you healing your family, your neighbors, your community, earth, I mean, it has a ripple effect that goes through everywhere. And so, I've had people come to me and I say, if your mother or grandmother was raped or some wound they had, they didn't have the tools that we have today, or a lot of the ability to do what we do. So go and be a vessel for them. Go and stand physically and say, I'm here for my grandmother or mother to heal a wound that she carried, so that we can unravel all these cords and energies, because I believe that we're here to heal the past and also set ourselves up for the future. In the mystery schools, we talk about healing goes 7 generations back and 7 generations forward. And so I'm like you, Alex, when I do healing, my family shows up and they're like, yay, thank you so much for doing that, because that's helping me unravel the things that I carried for so long. I think it's really, really important. So if you're an individual that thinks, oh, I don't need healing, I've done all that, then if you really believe that, think about your family and what you can heal there for them. How can you help them? How can you be? Because I don't think we ever stop, because the earth needs healing. There's been centuries of wounds and stuff that have been carried through. It's time to start healing all of that and getting us back all reset, so we can raise the vibration and frequency of ourselves, but also the planet, the humanity, everything that we do. So if you get frustrated in the world today, which I think a lot of people are having that experience, send love and light out there. Hug the planet, hug your community, hug whatever it is that you're worried about. Send love and light, because we have the ability to shift those energies, even if it's one-on-one, just to put that energy out there. I think we can make a real difference.
Yeah. And unfortunately, when people come to me seeking healing and they're at a state where it's dire, a lot of them will say to me, I didn't think I needed healing. And so it's a great reminder that you don't think you need healing until there's something that you need healing of or healing from. So, just us having this conversation, we're planting the seed for people to go, I never thought about it like that. Whatever it is that we said that planted that seed. But hopefully we at least plant a seed of remembrance that, if you're constantly looking in and checking in on yourself, and you have developed some type of self-awareness practice, you can always find something that needs to course correct or to recalibrate, or if anything, maintenance. A lot of the people that come to me, when I clear them, they realize how important it is to now keep the maintenance up. No different than your car. You can't run your car, forever without some type of maintenance. You have to stop every once in a while and say, hey, what does this body need? Hey, let's check in with my nervous system. What do I need from my nervous system? So it's just a matter of being more mindful, more aware, and checking in to see if there's a possibility that there's some kind of clearing or a reset or grounding, just so that you can stay, like you said earlier, balanced and in the flow.
So, Alex, if somebody wanted to contact you or work with you, we'll have your website at the bottom. But share with us a little bit of some of the things that you offer if people would be interested in working with you.
Yeah. So again, like I said earlier, I meet you where you are, and I offer, man, so many different services. We'll
Know
start
that
with,
feeling.
yeah, we'll start with energy. We'll start with energy clearing. So when you come to me, and you reach out, that's the starting point. Know this, that no healer outside of you is healing you. You're your own healer. So you heal yourself. And that starts with you deciding, I'm ready to heal. I'm ready to get out of the current state I'm in. When that happens, you reach out to a healer, whoever you resonate with, whoever makes you feel comfortable, makes you feel safe. And then that person, you're basically stepping into their frequency that they hold. They're holding a safe, loving frequency, hopefully that's elevated enough for your higher self and your spirit team to come in and match your intention and the intention of the healer to now come in and clear you, to heal you, to remove what's no longer serving you in your energy field. So that would be the first step, is reach out to me. When that happens, I automatically get permission to reach out to your higher self and do an energy scan. And your higher self will scan your energy field and tell me exactly what is in the way of you being in the flow and you being a freed up, cleared vessel for the universal consciousness energy to flow to you, through you, and from you. And then I start clearing you if that's what you want to do. And so I have different types of clearings. They all depend on what you need immediately and what is the first step. So, Spirit put me through so many initiations so that I could run the gamut on whatever's needed for certain individuals. And sometimes I'll get people that'll come to me that I'll just laugh and then ask Spirit, like, is this my next octave? And they start laughing, like, yeah, we brought them to you because you're ready now for this next level of healing frequencies for this person.
I love that. I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I understand. I think 20, 30 years ago, even 40 years ago, if somebody did this work, they were in one little pocket and they did that the rest of their lives. Today, nobody stays in one pocket. We have this toolbox that's huge. And when you do your list of services, it can be really daunting and confusing. So lately, I've been thinking about maybe I should just do an hour session, maybe a 2 hour session, and then because I never know what we're going to get into when you show up. The challenge is I don't know how to set everything up. Are we laying on a table? Are we sitting in a chair? Are we having, but my toolbox is as loaded probably as yours. So people come to me and go, I really want to do something, but I don't know where to start. So being able to have a conversation sometimes helps us know, but I love that we all have this huge box that we work out of. Alex, it's been so great chatting with you today. Thank you for taking the time to come in and chat with us. I hope that you will come back sometime and chat with us again. I've loved our conversation.
Absolutely. I appreciate you giving me this opportunity to come hang out with you and mirror each other. And I just want to let you know that I see you and I appreciate you. And I'm sure all the hard work that you've done to get to this point, there's a lot of sacrifices, and you probably don't often hear thank you. So I want to thank you from all the listeners that you've made a difference with in this moment, to let you know that we all appreciate you.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, this is kind of my passion. I want people to have a safe space to explore. I talk it exploration and discovery of who they really are. I don't want it to be forced or pushed. I just want it to be out there, like you said earlier, planting seeds of curiosity where people can get curious, because that's the first step of curiosity and awareness of who you are. and hopefully we make a difference in people's lives. That's really my goal. So thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. And those that are listening, thank you for listening. Know that our channels grow when you like, comment, and follow us. Share it with your friends. We want to be here to help you, and we want you to have a sacred and magical life. So make sure you comment, that you like us, and that you follow us on your favorite channels. Thank you for listening, and I hope you'll join us again in a future episode. Thanks so much.
Thank you for joining us. To find out more about Violet, head over to discoveryourspiritualgifts.com. You can also send a personal message to Violet through email, violet@discoveryourspiritualgifts.com. If you love the show, subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Spotify. Until next time, remember, we are meant to have abundant and joyful lives. We hope to see you soon at Discover Your Spiritual Gifts.